Hello and welcome back to IIBEC 2025 in Orlando, Florida. This is Heidi Ellsworth and we are on the Coffee Shop's soundstage sponsored by IB Roof Systems. And I have to tell you, I'm with one of my most favorite people, and in fact, it's a roofing contractor here at the Consultants Show. I'm so excited to have Lauren Morley on our Coffee Shop soundstage.
I know, I'm so excited to be here. I'm so excited.
I just have loved watching you and your business, and you are so smart. You are doing so many cool things. So let's start out with an introduction. Introduce yourself and tell us about your company.
Yeah. So I'm Lauren Morley. I'm the owner and acting president of R3NG Roofing and Gutters. We are a commercial roofing contracting company out of Denver, Colorado. And we also have a general contracting side, CP&M, which I don't always talk about.
Oh, that's
but
right.
Here it makes sense. And yeah, we're based out of Denver, and we're very involved with the consulting, engineering, and architecture world. So hence my involvement with IIBEC.
So how did you get started? How did you get involved with IIBEC?
It's a funny story, actually.
I love funny stories.
So about 3 years ago, we got some work from a consultant through my manufacturer, JF.
Okay.
And it went really well, and I had this idea of like, wow, I would love to work with more consultants. This is really great.
They're great.
As you know, education is a huge cornerstone of my company.
Yep.
And so I planned this whole series of events, an educational series, and I had different manufacturers come in and teach what I now know are IIBEC credits. I don't think I even knew that when I planned this class.
I love it.
I think I must have Googled like Denver roofing consultants to get people to come. And then Glenn Summerlin from Westlake, at the very last class, he taught the last one, he came to me and said, you know, there's an association that does this. Do you want to get involved with it? I was
oh my God, I love that.
I'd never heard of it.
You had no idea.
He brought me to the Christmas party, and I was like, oh, I'd love to do this. I love education. I'd love to get involved. And 2 weeks later, I was on the Denver board, and they were like, oh, you're going to be the president in a couple years. Get to know it quick. And I fell in love with it. I love this association.
Yeah,
so.
It is a great association.
It is.
And you're right. The cornerstone is education.
Right.
And ongoing, continuing education and certification.
Right.
So you're working on yours right now. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, well, originally I was going to go for the RRO, which I think is what most roofing contractors have.
Yeah.
But after starting the process, and because I'm in IIBEC, I've earned a lot more credits than I needed for the RRO.
Yeah.
So I kind of upped the goal, and I'm going to go for my RRC this year.
That's awesome.
So I'll be just short of my education credits after this conference, so I should have it by the end of 2025.
That's great.
Yeah,
congratulations. That's a big deal.
Yeah, I'm excited, and I think it's something where it just shows a little bit more effort towards the IIBEC goal, which is credentials. To get it, I think it just shows a level of respect towards the association.
Yeah, I love that. So how important are consultants to your business?
Very important. Yeah, I love working with consultants. I think that it just gives an extra QA, QC to all of my projects.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, it's something I do anyways. And it's, it's not everyone's cup of tea. It definitely brings an extra level of effort to both the estimating side and the installation side, but to me, it gives me peace of mind because I know that the roofs we're installing are designed properly, are being installed properly.
Right.
So yeah, I right now it's still a growing part of the business, but I'm hoping by 2026 it's half of my business at least.
Oh, that's great.
So,
that's great. And Lauren, I'm sure you've heard this, but back in the day, it was always like there's clash between contractors and consultants.
Yeah.
Now the smart contractors are like, no clash. Yeah. This is a great thing. So that's why I said at the very beginning, you're brilliant, right? You're doing something that in the past people were scared to, but you are really taking that leap and bringing a collaboration together that's going to grow everybody's business.
Right. I mean, it's so funny. Even still, I'll have people who are like, wow, so you like working with consultants?
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, I really like working with consultants.
Yeah.
And I think the thing that I always find so fascinating is I'm like, if you're already installing your roof right, they're not scary. They're not there to make it difficult. They're there to work with you. And I actually say some of the best consultants I work with used to be contractors.
Nice.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think it's a growing industry. I think the more you see the quality control that cities are requiring, I think that everyone's going to have to get used to working with consultants.
Yes.
I just happen to be lucky that I like it.
Or smart enough to get going early.
That too.
Yes, that too.
For sure.
Well, I think it's great. Okay, so one last thing. You are very involved in National Women in Roofing.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, well, it's really funny. I was involved with the board for many years.
Yes,
Obviously, you know now Megan is on the board, which I love.
I know.
And actually, when all this happened and I learned about IIBEC, I was kind of right when all the changes were going on, right? And I was becoming president of NWIR.
Yeah.
I had this opportunity to join the IIBEC board, and I had to make what was probably one of the hardest decisions I've ever had to make, which was you can choose one. I was like, I don't have time to be on the board of both. I was so lucky that Hannah Kane, our past president at the time, so gracious and stepped back up to be president another year. But I've made jokes recently that I'm like, all right, I'm just about at the point where I have the IIBEC Colorado chapter running really smoothly. We have a lot of really exciting events this year. That I'm like, maybe soon I'll be able to step back into NWIR.
And get back involved with Megan and the gang out there.
Because I think it's the same thing. I mean, women in consulting are women in roofing.
Right.
Like they need the same support.
That was my next question, because IIBEC has looked at, and they work very closely with National Women in Roofing, but really, we've really seen the growth of women consultants, and that is, to me, really inspirational too. To have, because it was very male dominated.
Yeah, I mean, it's so funny. We were just talking about this last night. I was with Walker Consultants. They have 9 of them down here, and I think like 5 of them are female.
I love it.
I was like, wow, that's really cool. And it is interesting because I think I'm starting to realize, I don't know that I would have thought of this before, but like, those females need the same help that I needed 5 years ago, right? They're in a male-dominated industry, and maybe one that's arguably harder because they have to be the expert on the roof. And so now you're trying to dominate respect from not only the consultants that are there, but the male roofers as well. And that's not an easy task.
No.
So I love seeing them here and seeing them get the education and that level of confidence. I mean, that's what NWIR gave me.
That's it.
We
need to get them involved.
They gave me the confidence to show the knowledge.
That's so true. And so we need to get all of these consultant ladies involved too. So that's your job.
Done.
I love it. I love it. Thank you so much, and thanks for being so inspirational to all of us.
I appreciate it. Thank you for giving me the opportunity.
You're awesome. You are so awesome. I'm telling you what, this is the kind of stuff, and of course, Lauren and her company are part of the R Club. They are so involved with Roofers Coffee Shop. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Thanks,
Stay
guys.
tuned. We have a live